Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. It's the In Wheel Time car show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Ahead, we got the events calendar and the stories making automotive news headlines, along with a special guest, and I think that you're really going to enjoy this. We Need More Jeff is going to have a very special thing coming up later on.
Special.
Well, you are special. And we invite you to stay tuned for that. Howdy, everybody. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, We Need More Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And yes, I'm still here.
Give a shout out to Steven Roos. He became a rap star this week.
Oh, really?
His rap name is Busta Hip.
Busta.
So he had his hip replaced.
Oh.
And if anybody out there wants to sell him a warranty on his hip replacement, you can contact him at 409-555-1212.
There you go.
Really?
Roos, he had his hip replaced.
It's good that you're doing better, Stephen. Thank you for joining us today. Okay. Newsweek announcing their 2021 Auto Awards. The inaugural list ranks the best vehicles and model lineups on the market.
Let's see if we agree.
So joining us now is Eileen Falkenburg-Hull. Eileen, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
I'm well. It's great to be on with you. How are y'all doing today?
Well, we're doing great. The weather is beautiful. Where are you?
I am in Atlanta today.
Atlanta? Is the weather as nice over there as it is here?
It's a little chilly this morning, but it's a great day. Today is Petit Le Mans, so I'm headed up to Road Atlanta today and to enjoy the nice fall weather and some racing.
How fun. I love it. So Eileen, she is really doing quite well at Newsweek. She leads the autos team at Newsweek. She's written extensively about the auto industry for U.S. News and World Report, Car Gurus, Trucks.com, Automotive Map, and American City Business Journal. So you're pretty well schooled in automotive stuff. You also went to Pennsylvania State University and the State University of New York at Buffalo.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So there you go.
Go Bills.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. So anyway, Eileen, let's talk about the list of winners. So what is the criteria and who voted on this?
So we did a number of different criteria depending on the awards. The first set we had were brand awards, where we looked at entire lineups of vehicles. So we looked at how they compare in terms of, packaging for the customer. Do they meet the customer's needs and their desires, as well as those price points? Are they offering customers really great values for their dollars? And so for best car lineup, we chose Nissan. For best SUV lineup, we chose Jeep. And for best truck lineup, we chose Ford. And those were the core of our brand awards right there. But we also looked at some other things. For our best brand for your buck winner, which was Hyundai, we took a look at, who's delivering the most the customer can get for their money. And we found that Hyundai really excels in that area when it comes to, interiors and powertrains and the number of vehicles, as well as, how much they're charging for them and their extended warranties. Hyundai just knocks it out of the park. We also took a look at how much brands have improved, not just, in the last couple months or weeks, but in the entire year. And we found that Land Rover has really spent some time over the last year investing in interior materials that have elevated their vehicles, both in technology and not furnishings, but appointments. And
furnishings.
like
I like the furnishings department. By the way, did Land Rover ever get the rest of the vehicle fixed so it doesn't spend all of its time in the shop?
Oh.
Historically, Land Rover's had some issues. I'm very excited about the new Defender. I'm actually headed out to Los Angeles next week to be in person with the new Range Rover, and I'm really excited to see where they can go. I think they're on an upward trajectory. They've said in a few years they want to be about where Bentley is, which I think is a tremendous ask. So it's a really exciting time to see what Land Rover has offered.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's moving
That's a
way.
big
That's
leap.
moving
That's-
way upscale.
Yeah.
But Land Rover is one of the top tier utility vehicles
Hold my
out there.
beer, watch this.
But Bentley is.
I disagree. I disagree. I think that they've got a lot going for them. The luxurious part of it, okay.
Image.
But you know what? Who goes off-road in a Land Rover, Range Rover that you know?
None of them.
None.
None of them.
They're all for Eileen's bunch over there in Atlanta, Georgia, that live in the high Zoot area of Atlanta.
Or L.A. But
Yeah. I mean, Chris Lee knows best. That's all he drives.
Of course. And that's what I base my judgment on.
They will tell you over at Land Rover that it's not about, whether or not the vehicle is taken off-road, but whether or not you can take it off-road.
Oh, that's what it is.
Basically true for some Bronco customers out there, right? Or F-150 or
Very
Super
true.
Duty drivers.
Very true.
They just want to be seen in it. And to an extent, there's nothing wrong with that. But we at Newsweek felt that, Land Rover's really upped their game, not including future plans. And we wanted to reward that with our Most Improved Vehicle Brand Award.
Well, and far be it from me to say nay. I mean, it's all good. I like it.
Chasing the Bentley brand,
Well,
that's pretty high cotton. up
Well,
there.
and there's got to be a little PR stuff in that decision.
Well, they
right?
have the feng shui interior now.
The feng shui. That's right.
Furniture.
Okay, so let's talk about specific vehicles as far as size and ability is concerned. I mean, you've got pickup trucks here, cars, SUVs. So let's start with the best small SUV, the Subaru Crosstrek. I know that here in Houston, there are a lot of Subarus that are sold, and I know that it's a very popular brand here. I don't know about the rest of the world, but on your dais, if you will, that decided this, how many people were involved in the decision-making process to come up with, let's say, for instance, the best small SUV?
So what we did is we took a look at the specifications and features that each vehicle company offers, and we rated them. So if you had best-in-class features, you got the highest amount of points. If you had, worst-in-class features, you got the lowest amount of points. And then wherever you slotted in between that in your respective categories. We also looked at standard and available features. So the more standard features you had, we felt that offered the customer the best value. So you got rewarded with that, with more points. If you offered it as available, then you got some points for that, not as many as standard. But then if you didn't offer it, you obviously got no points. So, we really tried to focus in on what the customer wanted. So that was 75% of the score was completely based on what you can find on the automaker website.
Okay.
Right? If you're a customer and you're shopping. We did that kind of comparison shopping for you. And then for the 25%, I spent time in 150 vehicles this year, probably a little bit more, and actually drove them all. And drove them back to back, drove them for weeks at a time, drove them off-road, on-road, all of that. And really rated our drive impressions in a number of different categories, including performance and, usability and that ease of use of the vehicle and cargo space, those things that are tangible to the customer. And so we combined those two scores together, weighted at 75% and 25%. And that is how we came up with our winners list. So the Subaru Crosstrek, though it's been out for a few years, it's not a new generation, that comes standard with a lot of things that buyers are looking for, including all-wheel drive, which even in the Sunshine Belt of the U.S. has been doing extremely well for them over the last few years. And all of those things that, like the second row legroom in the Crosstrek is phenomenal. It has amazing cargo space. It's got good small item storage. It doesn't have the most amazing set of standard features, but it has a really good set for its price point, which helped it take the crown in that category.
Eileen, who were the judges?
So I was the drive impressions judge, but our whole entire autos team worked together on the specifications and features.
And how many of them how many people were there that did the judging?
So it was just me for the driving each of the 150 vehicles.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, that made for a fun week, huh?
Yeah. Fun week.
I didn't do it all in 1 week. So we've driven them over the past year. I've driven these models, continuously for the last 7 years. as I've worked full time in automotive. So it wasn't, just a one-off day with, a couple miles put on it. I've put about 300 miles on a vehicle every week. And I really extensively do test drive them. It's not just a little here or there off road. We do spend a number of hours in the vehicles in order to get these impressions.
Well, let's look at one of the most hotly contested vehicles, and that's the best full-size SUV. And I see you got Jeep Wagoneer here. Why?
So the Jeep, like the Subaru, comes with a large number of standard and available features that people are looking for. And in addition to that, it has great towing capacity. It has excellent third row legroom and headroom. And it really offers a lot for the package. When it comes to full-size SUVs, it's competing with Suburban and Tahoe and Escalade. And it really comes down to the Wagoneer has really great drivability that those other big SUVs don't, in terms of how easy it is in terms of handling and what its capabilities are. And that was a big decider, in addition to its features, in terms of the Jeep Wagoneer getting that award.
All right. And I noticed down here that you've got best luxury SUV is the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, except nowhere on the vehicle does it say Jeep.
Well, that's a branding decision, but it does have things like the 7-slot grille that you'll find. And you'll also find, those little Easter eggs that Jeep is so good about hiding throughout the vehicle. So while the Wagoneer is very much, and the Grand Wagoneer, part of the Jeep family, they are pushing the Wagoneer brand forward. It's really interesting positioning from them in terms of marketing and branding, but they're also elevating the consumer experience, not just with the vehicle and pushing to premium and pushing to luxury, but also in terms of what the dealership offers to Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer customers. So both of those vehicles are really interesting proposition at a really interesting intersection for the Jeep brand itself.
Do you think that Jeep is going to do a luxury brand under the Wagoneer name?
Yes, absolutely. So that's what they're going for. Kind of like how Dodge has had the SRT brand kind of carved out for them as performance. And now with direct connection coming into the fold, we are seeing that with Wagoneer. And I was actually talking to Jim Morrison over at Jeep. He's one of the top executives over there. And he was telling me that they actually have plans for dealers to treat Wagoneer customers differently, to elevate their dealership experience in terms of, offering them concierge service for vehicle pickup like you get with the true luxury brands. And you won't get that if you just buy, say, a Grand Cherokee or a Cherokee. So they are trying to change that perception of Wagoneer.
Okay, I thought
their own brand.
Very good. I thought that the selection of the best full-size pickup truck was interesting, and the Ford F-150. I would differ with you and say that it was the Ram, but why did you pick the Ford F-150?
So the Ford F-150, with its redesign for this generation, added a lot of features that you don't necessarily get with the Ram 1500, which I do think is a very good choice. I do enjoy the Ram 1500. But what you have in terms of the folding shifter, you have Blue Cruise, you have these other technologies, and the way the center console turns into a desk or a table. Things like that are really impactful in the industry and show that Ford really listened to its customer. And while all the other truck brands do listen to their customers, Ford just exceeded when it came to this year.
Got it. One of the interesting things I thought was the best family truck, the Rivian R1T. Have you driven a Rivian?
I have. I went up to Breckenridge, Colorado with Rivian, and we did about 9 hours in the Rivian, about 8 of which was off-roading. Pretty decent extreme off-roading in it. And, I really lived in it. I got to experience it in all types of conditions, throwing cargo in it, using all the features, and really in terms of, and using the camp kitchen as well, that little kitchen you can pull out of the center of the vehicle. And so, in terms of storage space and innovation and all those things that families are kind of looking for, legroom and cup holders and charging ports, Rivian really hit it out of the park with the family truck. And that's something we at Newsweek wanted to reward with our Best Family Truck Award.
Interesting.
Will all of these owners be called by someone to extend their warranty?
Aren't we all?
Yeah, multiple times.
Oh,
Yes,
my God.
As many times as they can.
Well, I find it interesting. I noticed here you got the Jeep Grand Cherokee L as the best family SUV.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, Jeep has elevated Grand Cherokee, and now with a 3-row Grand Cherokee L. I think of it more as like a Dodge Durango on luxury steroids. It's this opulent, just really friendly SUV in terms of comfort and convenience and features, and with its rear entertainment system and the way you can bring Amazon with you in the vehicle, that makes a huge difference to customers. And, having space for teenagers in the third row for families, that's a big deal. And what's really interesting is with Grand Cherokee L, they didn't just add a third row to Grand Cherokee. They actually extended the cargo space. So you have real cargo space back there when you're using the third row. It's not just this like little side space that you can hopefully fit groceries into when you've got 7 people packed into it. And that's something that real families can understand and real families can acknowledge. And that's part of why we gave it our Best Family SUV award.
Let's talk about Tesla. I noticed that Tesla is obviously inconspicuous on the list.
Well, one of the things we really felt we shouldn't do is separate electric vehicles from internal combustion or hybrid or plug-in hybrid vehicles. We felt that in the marketplace, they're all competing against each other. So we didn't want to give like a best electric vehicle award because those electric cars or electric SUVs have to compete against more traditionally power-trained vehicles. So when we looked at it, and I will say as automakers had to provide their vehicles for evaluation, Tesla declined to do that. But we didn't section out electric. And I think that that's where you're seeing, there's no Mustang Mach-E on the awards. There's no Kona EV. And that's because we felt that we are at this point in the market where those vehicles have to compete against the regular power-trained vehicles. And unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your view, no electric vehicles actually won except for the Rivian R1T.
So they were part of the evaluation process. It's not like you just didn't do them; they just didn't
Score
match
well
up
enough,
with.
right?
Yeah, they didn't score well enough with what you've come up with here.
Right. So every vehicle in the market, all 230 something of them, were all scored according to their specifications and features. But that's only 75% of the score for the vehicle awards. So 25% of that is drive impressions. So if you don't provide your vehicle for drive impressions, then you're automatically missing out on 25% of your score and therefore are unlikely to gain an award within our awards.
Right. That makes sense.
Are you a member of any Auto Writers Association?
I am not. Unfortunately, I am just too busy these days. I haven't been home for more than one day at a time since July, out test driving vehicles all across the country. So I have not joined because quite frankly, I can't commit to the level that I would want to.
So you have no life.
No, I do have a life. A lot of it's spent on airplanes or in vehicles driving. But yeah, it's a great life to have. I love what I do. I wouldn't do anything else, and I'm very lucky to have it. And actually, Mr. Mars is one of my early supporters back when I first started. He was fantastic at encouraging me to be a part of this industry.
Awesome.
Well, and you're doing great.
So 20 years from now, you can blame Mike.
Yeah. Blame me.
Blame him for everything.
Yeah.
Eileen, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank
Nice.
you guys so much.
You
Take
bet.
care.
You do.
Bye-bye.
Eileen Falkenburg-Hull, senior editor, automotive editor at Newsweek. Okay.
Well, we
Very
want
nice.
to definitely give a shout out, and I think I mentioned this earlier before we got on the air, is friend of the show, Jerry Emmons, won the World Championship NHRA stock.
Nice
we
work.
know
Class.
him.
Yes,
we
do.
know him. Well,
Yes.
he's on our on Facebook at the moment. He kind of checked in with us, but we definitely wanted to give him a big shout out.
Where
World
is he?
champion.
I've been to
Oh,
his-
he's probably at the store.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been to his store. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I think-
remember when we had him on last, he had talked about a structural try. He knew numerically how he had to get there to be
Right.
world champion. But at the time when we had him on, he was in second place. But they understand the scoring and how many national events
Exactly.
you can count.
Who had
all
to
of that.
win, who had to lose,
Right.
where he had to be during all that.
And they put a plan together, and holy cow, we know a
Fantastic.
world champ. We know
do.
2 world
Oh, yes,
champions.
we do.
Yeah.
Well, 3. We got Don.
That's a world.
I'm
Hall
a
of
world
Fame.
champion in another way,
Are you
but we
leaving?
can't discuss that on
But
the air.
congratulations to Jerry Emmons and the whole Emmons
Beautiful.
Motorsports team. You guys are awesome.
That is really cool.
Yeah, very, very cool to have heard his plan before he
Before they even left for the
before
track,
they implemented it. Right, that was pretty cool.
We got some recalls to tell everybody about.
Okay. We're
You ready?
down. Are you still here?
You always. Yeah, it's after it's
Here.
Let me push that button.
It's all
for you.
yours.
Come on over here, Joe. Come on.
No, the last
You push the button.
Let's
time I-
we'll trade places. I'll do that. And you come over here and do
Yes,
this.
let him do this.
Get it all balled up.
Oh man.
Anyway, some recalls. The BMW X4 being recalled for. Are you sitting down?
We are.
The license plate does not illuminate properly.
No.
What the?
The government,
Change the bulb.
Yeah, the government is out of control.
Now I need a halogen
God.
light for your.
Brandon
license plate.
recalled that.
Engine harness damage may cause a stall in the 2017 through 2019 Nissan Rogue.
Yeek.
Hyundai Palisade. I don't think I've had a. Have I had a Palisade?
No, I don't think
They're
you did.
good looking on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, that is their
Yeah.
big SUV. It's a
brake
very good
fluid
looking.
contamination. So you need to go talk to those people.
Hyundai. Well, we have lots of brake fluid.
Okay, I know you do. The rear spoiler may detach on the Dodge Durango for 2021. Whoops.
I hate it when you look in the rear view and your spoiler's laying about 100 feet
You
behind you.
start losing traction.
Yeah,
and-
you know.
Or it's in the car's windshield behind you.
Exactly. Mercedes-Benz S580 for 2021 and 2022.
Hold on a
The
second.
EC.
You can't see. You got that in front of the camera.
Well,
the paper's in front of the
here.
camera. There you go.
Here.
Oh, Don, you would drive one in a heartbeat.
Hell yeah, I would. But I can't afford it. Mercedes-Benz S580, the ECU software may cause the engine to stall.
Not
Oops.
good in a high performance car, huh?
Engine damage may cause a stall or fire in Kia Optima Hybrid and the PHEV for 2017 through 2018.
Don't go
models.
past that because a fire in an HEV is a big fire.
Yeah, it is.
And that's a
You know,
thermal event.
The fire in a gas powered car is easier to put out.
No doubt. Unexpected activation of the automatic emergency brake in the Tesla. From 2017 through 2021. The Model 3, the Model S, Model X, and the Model Y. Isn't that everything that they make?
A, B, C, D. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Alphabet soup.
And Alfa Romeo Giulia. You ready? Sitting down again?
Yep.
Love these. The tires have an incorrect load rating printed on the side of them.
Well, that's
Wait,
that's
what?
DOT.
What?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Tires have an incorrect load rating.
So the smart
stencil.
person,
Yeah.
the smart person with a Giulia will drive that car until just before the tires are wore out, and then go get the recall done and get a brand new set of tires.
That's it. That's the way to do it.
That's absolutely the way to do it.
And it's the
Yeah, but if
2020
there's a-
model year.
There's
So
a failure. It'd be hard to do, but I understand the concept.
anyway, if you have a car that you want to know,
The tire guy here.
if you want to know if it's been under recall, just go to safercar.gov. Put in your VIN number, which you can find on your car insurance card. Type that in there, and it'll tell you if you've got any recalls on your car. That's up to you to decide whether or not you want to get them fixed.
Well, it'll tell you both the ones that have been fixed and the ones that haven't been fixed. So you can kind of look at the history of the car if you didn't buy it new either.
Also, I noticed I've recently had my car inspected, and Don, you've had yours. On the sheet they give you, your pass fail sheet, it also lists the recalls. that
Outstanding.
vehicle-
Oh, yeah. Well, that's been
yeah.
a number of years they've
I've
done
just
that
never
now.
noticed it.
But, a lot of people don't. Screw that. I ain't going to mess with
Well,
it.
exactly.
Way too many people do that. And then the manufacturers are held responsible for completion of a certain percentage of the recall, not even 100% of them. And they are actively out trying to find those customers.
Well, it's the last address and whether you do it at that address.
Yeah. And that's very hard to follow sometimes.
Latest numbers on the microchip shortage. A number of vehicles removed from global production plans because of the global microchip shortage declined for the third straight week. as Europe and China continue to be spared from major cuts. They make the chips, according to the latest estimates by Auto Forecast Solutions. For the second consecutive week, North American assembly plants bore the brunt of the impact. The roughly 20,000 vehicles eliminated in North America accounted for about 61% of all production lost. That sucks.
Yep.
But
and never to be brought back.
correct. But I will say that I have a feeling that they are just beginning to turn the corner on all of that.
They are getting in wads of them that they're putting into vehicles. But you got to think of some of these vehicles in today's market have got 20 plus chips in them, 20, 25 chips in them. So the choice is, do we minimize certain options, which some manufacturers have done,
Correct.
that require a chip specific,
Right.
to build more vehicles, or do we build higher content vehicles that are higher profitability?
Well, I think that we know the answer to that.
But build fewer of them. Yeah, so... the manufacturers have some real choices in front of them.
But the other thing too is that I've come to the realization is that they haven't stopped production on every vehicle that's being made. Car dealers are getting cars, and I have a story. Matter of fact, I'll do that story right now because I think that it's a pretty interesting story. I have to find it. It's in the stack here.
See, I had that problem too when I was taking that position.
And they are getting vehicles, but the manufacturers are more choosing which ones they're getting and what content level that they're getting. So
listen to this story. You ready? Mm-hmm. According to the National Automobile Dealers Association, the average U.S. dealership recorded net pre-tax profit of $3 million through September. That was more than double the $1.3 million the net pre-tax profit reported for the first 9 months of 2020. Now, granted, it was pandemic time a year ago, and it's already well above the $2.1 million in net pre-tax profit recorded for the average dealership for all of 2020, which itself was an all-time record annual profit. So the dealers are not... They've managed to manage it.
Supply and demand, fewer cars, fewer discounts.
Yeah.
More customers, so they get a higher price for them. And then within that, structurally, is also the profits that are developed through the service department and body shops, too.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Quick break now. We're right back with the In Wheel Time Car Show. Stay with us.
Hey, Houston, it's back! America's greatest hot rod tradition is on Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars featuring the ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics and the Traditional Rod Garage. Saturday only, it's the Tuner Galleria with 250 imports, JDM, and luxury cars, plus music and models. Autorama. It's so much more than a car show. On the celebrity stage, presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration, it's Chip Foose from TV's Overhauling on Friday and wrestling superstar Sting on Sunday. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 25th to 28th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com.
Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly cruise-in, will return Saturday, December 18th to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all of the participants and fans who've enjoyed the collector cars, hot rods, customs, originals, and resto mods, and everything in between. We'll be taking a break for Thanksgiving and Autorama, but we'll be back for a great Christmas cruise-in on December 18th, so make plans now. You know that Tailpipes and Tacos is the Houston area's coolest cruise-in, a place you'll see friends, family, and the finest cruise-in cars in the Houston area. It all happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Get your ride ready for a very special Christmas cruise-in, Lupi style. It's Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, December 18th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Let's celebrate the Christmas season together at the next Tailpipes and Tacos on December 18th. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Gulf Coast Auto Shield has moved to a more convenient location.
Now you can visit John Gray and his staff of dedicated professionals at their new shop on the South Sam Houston Parkway between Belford and Airport in Southwest Houston. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is the best at paint correction and ceramic coatings. Clear bras and custom wraps are specialties that only Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs with award-winning accuracy, and all their services come with a warranty. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Porsche, and Ferrari owners depend on Gulf Coast Auto Shield for their specialty services, and you should too. The in-wheel time Corvette and Cutlass have both been massaged by Gulf Coast Auto Shield, so isn't it time your vehicle visit their new shop in Southwest Houston? Call John Gray today at 832-930-5655 or visit online at gcautoshield.com. That's gcautoshield.com. Paint, coatings, wraps, and more at gcautoshield.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.